a new patent methodology in treating vitiligo. First, I have no financial benefit in relation to the treatment. However, I was one of the clinical investigators in the research that was done on the treatment initially by Kuwait University and a few of my colleagues in Kuwait and outside Kuwait, as well as in collaboration with the Dutch laboratory. And I'm the next primary investigator in a newly submitted research for a large approval on the same intervention. So the medicine is, or the treatment product has is a patent treatment, and this is the accreditation and the registration for the patency in the United States and in Europe. And it's also registered as a herbal cosmetic product in United Kingdom, in Europe, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Genetic predisposition, and then we have multiple factors, internal and external factors that causes or that generate stress within melanocyte. So why are the patients not responding to BUVA? Patients are responding better to narrowband phototherapy, as we all know. So why are we not responding to BUVA, although it is superior? We're using the chemotherapy and we're using the phototherapy. From this, we had the idea, why don't we have one treatment? Actually, I didn't have the idea. The scientists behind this treatment had the idea, why don't we have a treatment that covers all pathological aspects in vitiligo? So he came with the idea of VT treatment. It is designed by Kuwaiti scientists working in Faculty of Medicine, Kuwait University. As we said, BUVA will produce free radicals. So these patients that we treat with BUVA, if they have low response, they might get worse, or they might not respond at all to the treatment. Why is that happening? They're extra sensitive, and in theory, to the photo damage. So this sensitivity to the photo damage will result in generating more oxygen-free radicals, more damage, potentiating the pathology that we have. So he proposed a treatment that it was photochemotherapy as well. We're using UV radiation, but with a low concentration of photosensitizer. In his initial hypothesis, he mentioned adequate amount of photosensitizers. We want to produce a phototoxic effect, but we want it to be limited phototoxic effect. And at the same time, after we induce a phototoxic effect, you want to remove the free radical that has been generated with this phototoxic effect. So he combined the treatment that promote melanogenesis growth, melanin production, antioxidant to remove whatever free radical has been generated, immunomodulatory and anti-inflammatory, and also other elements that support cadherent attachment between melanocyte and keratinocyte. So his treatment was from two parts. The first part will be the photosensitizer, which has only photosensitizer and immunomodulatory, anti-inflammatory. The other part that has the antioxidant, anti-apoptotic, and other the scavenging system. So his goal is to stimulate melanogenesis without increasing the oxidative stress. We will cause oxidative stress, but we want it to be minimum amount of oxidative stress. He included heme oxygenase. Heme oxygenase is a rate-limiting enzyme that participates in heme catabolism. It's also a marker of oxidative stress, and at the same time has a cytoprotective effect on the cells. The second treatment, the BT2, has the heavy metals that will help to induce or theoretically stimulate the production of heme oxygenase. The study has supported the role of heme oxygenase in protecting the cell from UV radiation and has suggested that patients that have low response to UV-based treatment, they have low heme oxygenase. So it would be a marker to differentiate responder from non-responder. So what kind of antioxidant that would be more valuable to include in the treatment? Many studies have shown that the free radical that has been generated in vitiligo skin is hydrogen peroxide and peroxynitrate. Of interest, peroxynitrate has the capability to nitrate proteins, including tyrosine. It will damage the function of the protein, the structure of the protein, so it will not do what is intended from it. So if we have a nitrated tyrosine, they will not be able to produce the process of melanogenesis. What's the difference between this photosensitizer and the regular pharmaceutical BUVA that we're using, or the Sorelin? This photosensitizer is sensitive, it works in the UVA and UVB wave spectrum. This is our BT treatment, the red line. It does not get excited much. It does absorb the light, but the chemical reaction compared to Sorelin is less, and then it goes down. So it acts on from 200 wavelength to 400. So all treatment included was safe, natural treatment that can be tested in human epidermis. So they did the analysis, metabolic pathway interaction, safety profile, efficacy, and at the end we had the treatment that they gave us the treatment that has photosensitizer, immunomodulatory, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-apoptotic activity by a herbal product. So clinically, we had the treatment produced was in different composition and concentration. Depending on the patient sensitivity, you decide which treatment you will do. It says when you see VT1, it does causes photooxidation as well, but it's less compared to PUVA. It does not have very low antioxidant effect because it doesn't make sense that we want to do oxidation and add antioxidant at the same time. But the herbal product, they do have some activity as antioxidant. So that's why you can see it as oxidant and antioxidant at the same time, as anti-inflammatory, immune effect. But this is a summary of everything altogether. So clinically, this is the result. This is my patient. On presentation, 3 weeks later and 10 weeks later, we can see that the product does work and might give even excellent results. This is at the start, and the result has been maintained for almost 1 year, from point A to the final point. And like any other treatment, there is poor responders. Not everybody responds. So this is after 3 months, the patient does not respond at all. No change, not even 1 millimeter. So you can see how does it work on acral vitiligo here and here. It also worked on leukotrichia. So, as again, a treatment, there's people who respond and there is people who do not respond at all. But what's different about or promising about this treatment, that it has a high rate of responder. Almost 96% of patients, they respond. Unlike any other treatment, as vitiligo is a chronic condition, whenever you stop the treatment, they will relapse. Approximately 50% they will maintain the result. Not purely because of the treatment, other factors that are involved as well. The product has been has joined multiple scientific activity. This is the first submitted abstract about the treatment. I was not involved at this time. It was done by the scientist Mohammed Ansari and my mentor, Dr. Fahad Mtawa. And this is another study as well. And this is the scientist, Dr. Mohammed Ansari. Actually, he's a PhD student in Kuwait Faculty of Medicine. So he had an award from the Markaz Al-Abhath. So personally, I'm proud that we have a Kuwaiti doctor or future doctor who can do something, that we are the leader instead of the followers, like in the general situation. So these are my references. And if you have any clinical question, I'm happy to answer. If you have any question regarding the methodology or the patent product, this is Mohammed Ansari email, which you can talk to him or directly email him. Thank you.